Morning, y'all. Christy here. It is Tuesday, November 29th, 2022. I am hopping on to do my accountability check-in. I actually do have my quote for today. I prepared and wrote it on a little note and stuck it in my side pocket to make sure I had it so that I wouldn't forget. That's the only thing I actually came with besides my water bottle and my phone. My quote for today is by Tracy C. Jones, and it is never underestimate the power of your influence in shaping another's life. And that seems to be a quote that is fitting every day for me, because every book that I read is shaping my life in so many different ways, and it's by complete strangers. I don't even, know who they are, and people who've already passed on, like Napoleon Hill. And so, never underestimate your influence on others. I don't underestimate mine. I don't consider myself an influence, but I'm not saying I can't be, or that I am not at this moment, of shaping someone else's life just by watching me go through my transformation. And so, I think that's a very important phrase and idea, that even though you may not think so, you are important in shaping someone's life every day. And whether it's just being, a parent to your child, or a spouse, to your significant other, or a friend to another friend, or a boss to an employee, everyone is shaping somebody's life every day. And don't ever underestimate your power, because even the smallest things can shape people positively as well as negatively. And I've learned that myself, and I am a firm believer of that. I finally finished the Rich Dad series that I was reading, Why the Rich Are Getting Richer. And great book. Second book I've read in that series. The first one I read was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and tons of information in that one, as well as this one, Why the Rich Are Getting Richer. And clearly I am not, I love this little horn I've got coming up. Maybe it's a halo that's trying to form on my head, not a horn. I don't want to think about it as a horn. It's just a stray hair. Anyways, but these are very, 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 very good books, informational, full of knowledge about financial education and being financially literate as opposed to financially illiterate, which I consider I am financially illiterate. I thought that going to work, having a steady, reliable job, and a sound retirement is the ultimate plan. And I'm learning from these books, it's not the only plan, and it's not always the best plan for everyone. And I guess my idea of a financial education is completely based on what I learned in school, which is not what is practiced. I think school doesn't prepare us for the real world as far as being wealthy, like as far as assets and liabilities, and your financial statement, what cash flow is. I learned a lot of that stuff the hard way. I had no clue, even with a bachelor's in education and a master's in business administration, as well as public school administration. I had no idea about these things. I didn't learn them until I decided to open my own business and start from nothing. I had no idea what a P&L was, and a balance sheet, and cash flow, and depreciation. I had some idea, but not in how to apply them to a business that was in operation. And there was nothing I learned in school. Some of the formulas that I learned maybe in statistics or in a higher level math, yes, helped with the accounting part, but there's software that does that too, you know, but it never taught me how to apply it in a practical sense. And so I thought I had this background and I was financially literate, and clearly I am not, you know. I clearly have the idea wrong of what it is to be financially wealthy. You know, it's not what the money that I have in my bank account or in a retirement account. It's my assets. And, you know, clearly I was confused at what an asset and a liability is. Not like debt and income, okay? I'm talking about when it came to properties and like my vehicles and my home and those kinds of things. And that, you know, the principle that I'm seeing over and over in these books is that savers are losers. So if you have your money sitting in a bank account gaining barely 1%, not even that, maybe 0.1% interest on what's in the bank, you're not gaining anything, and it's not making you any money. And so I'm learning a lot, and I'm kind of glad I'm doing it now, because now it's not too late, because I saw that Robert and his wife Kim, which is the author of the book, Robert Kiyosaki, I think that's how it's said, and they didn't start, and well, he didn't start till he was, I guess, in his 40s, and he maybe late 30s. It took him 10 years. So he started at 37, and then by the time he was 47, he was able to retire and you know, do what he loves, which is educating people for financial freedom and actually helping them become financially literate as opposed to illiterate. And so, you know, it's not too late, he says. You know, it's just educating yourself and learning what it truly means to have financial freedom. Not having tons of money in the bank, but actually acquiring things that make you income, passive income. And as part of this transformation that I'm going through, and, you know, my journey to personal excellence, it's all of these different quadrants. You know, it's being you know, having the right mindset, having the right attitude, having my spiritual intelligence, actual physical intelligence, as well as financial intelligence. All of those need to work together in order to actually be the best version of yourself. And so, you know, I'm working on myself in multiple areas. It's not just one, as well as relationship, you know, between my husband, and communication, you know, with others, you know. And so it, you know, that's just another critical piece of this transformation process. And, you know, like, I am reading all kinds of books. You know, I'm not just focusing on personal development books. I have books on personal development, spiritual development, as well as physical intelligence and financial intelligence. You know, and I read out of those every single day and learn something more and more that I didn't learn in school, in college. You know, whether it was my bachelor's or my master's, none of that. And most of the stuff that I learned was theory, not application. You know, it's a whole nother ballgame when, you know, you learn something in the classroom and then you're actually put into the environment and actually applying what you were taught. And I learned that the hard way when I was my first year in teaching. You know, everything that I was taught in school, in college, was based on the ideal classroom. And there's no such thing as the ideal classroom with 22 children all on the same level, academic level and behavior level and social level. And that's what all of your practical theory was about. The perfect environment. And a classroom today is not that. Even when I was teaching 10 years ago, it was not that. So, you're taught these theories to be applied to a perfect world and a perfect environment with very few challenges, and that is the exact opposite. So it's kind of like your first year of teaching is, well, for me, it was difficult. It's kind of like you got thrown into the deep end and you either sink or you swim. And I can see why, people get burned out after, a few years of teaching, or it's just too much because, if you're not strong enough to keep your head above water by treading water until you figure it out, what works for you, because what works for me might not work for the teacher next door. You have to find your own sense of teaching style that works for you and how you best connect with your students. So, even when you do have a mentor, what may work for them may not work for you, but it's good to have all those tools in your tool bag, because you have 22 different personalities. So yes, you find one that engages the whole group of children, but then you have to find one that connect with each individual children or a group of children. So they don't really teach you that, or how to communicate it to children as well as it should be. And I think that's the same even post secondary school, high school, even in college. You're not taught how to apply these theories into the real world, which is full of clashing personalities and ideologies and learning styles and social interaction styles. So, it's hard because you really are not given the skills to apply them. And you can easily get burned out too that way when you're starting a new career, or you just graduated college and you're entering the workforce. It's going to be completely different than it is, in college. It's not the same, and it's so sad because I don't think, the youth of today are learning those skills. It's too much focused on the perfect world or making everything happy and everything kosher when it's anything but that. A lot of critical thinking skills are being lost, and children aren't allowed to problem solve in real world instances. And it's really sad to see because, you can see it. The children and youth and even young adolescents don't know how to face the challenges when they're brought up, and either end up quitting or becoming defiant or rebelling or not ever being happy because they haven't learned how to integrate into a system that's already established. Like if you get a new job and you're in a bigger corporation, that you don't just get to come in there and be your own person. Yes, you do, but you still have to acclimate with the environment. You still have to take on the values of that company. You can't just, start day one and say, no, this is who I am, this is who I'm going to be. No, you kind of have to put that into context with what's already established. So, that's just some things that, I've learned going through the workforce. And, starting my own company. And now, transitioning to a new world, full of entrepreneurs and, people who are very technology savvy and, me learning it from them. And, thankfully I've got great mentors. And, not only am I taught the theory, but I'm taught how to apply it. That is the one thing I'm thankful for, is because I'm actually shown how to apply it in real world situations. And and actually using it to fine tune that skill. So I'm getting the informational as well as the application knowledge, which, makes it set in. I'm not just sitting here doing a lecture, listening to a lecture and taking notes and then moving on to and then taking a quiz at the end and then moving on to the next chapter. No, it's, practical. It's informational then tactical. So you get your skill and then you get your hands-on practice, and then you get one that's modeled, which I think is even better. And you're able to have your instructor guide you while you're applying that skill, and then ask questions if you need help or you make mistakes or you lose your place. And then after you've had that guidance, then you're set to do your own for certification, which, you get all the necessary levels, which is important. But it's getting hard to hear me. It's hard to hear myself. But I just wanted, to talk a little bit about, education and the importance of it, and being a lifelong learner, and, never stop learning. Never stop asking questions. But I'm going to go ahead and hop off and finish my walk, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And remember, don't underestimate the power of influence that you have over someone else. So remember, you're great. I believe in you. You matter. Your happiness matters. Read something, watch something, whatever. Do something that makes you happy. Just, even if it's for an hour. And I will see y'all tomorrow. So have a great day. Become a champion. Delete regrets, hit reset, and unleash your new mindset. Bye, y'all.